We are live, everybody. We are live. Hello, everybody. It's Bullsy. I already forgot my description. Actually, I just memorized. Actually, I just remembered it again. Yeah, pro wrestling, Crappy Kai. About to say Cobra Kai, but I'm gonna call it Crappy Kai. And a little bit of the politics. I know there's some drama shit that happened because 10 yards of victory, so I'm guessing there's a lot that happened. But we can talk about that later. What's going on, people? I'm gonna just sit here and let it fester because going live again. Chip and Science Act happening in Arizona, by the way, but that's for the premiere to talk about, and it's gonna be fun. A little. Actually, I could just talk about that, like the Science and Chip Act later, and what's going on with the Arizona bullshit. I'll do that later, for like a next yesterday. But I'm just gonna wait for people to roll in because reasons. Right. Okay. I don't think. I mean, I could just start anyway. Not like I'm gonna get a whole great big deal of viewership, which is fine. There you go. Hold on. Let me. I want to play. I want to just play a clip. There we go. That will always be funny to me. All right. The clip I played would just always be funny to me. Joe Biden in a nutshell. We'll talk about him another day. We'll talk about him tomorrow, right? So, a little bit of the politics, because that's what it is. The Dialog Den, I'm calling it for fun. Because it's where I just dialogue in the den, you know? But either way, though, I'm just going to throw in the freaking invited guest, because why not? You never know. Maybe somebody wants to join. In a possibility, because, like, why not? I didn't really make this stream about anything. I just made it on a whim. It was on a whim. Okay, to the topic, okay? Politics and shit. I didn't really have a specific thing to talk about when it came to politics. I already talked about Nazis and shit yesterday. Talked about people making up numbers and shit yesterday. What's something that would be fun to cover? But there is something. There was something I didn't want to talk about. Had something to do with destiny. Yeah, it had something to do with destiny, and he debated and a Christian went off on him. How dare you, stuff like that. Bring it up. He was basically talking about how Trump is not a nice person. Yeah, something like that. Okay, it's weird because this is another thing that the talk about the libs will use, and it's one of the weirdest talking points. I don't get it. Like, do you hinge your whole somebody being the president whether they're nice or not? Like, why isn't that something we care about? I mean, do you want somebody to be nice, full of backstabbing weirdos who sell out the country? I mean, they already think Trump sells out the country and he's a mean man, stuff like that, right? They have the weirdest criticisms for him, and there's plenty to criticize Trump on, but they choose the weirdest things to criticize him on. Some of them aren't even his fault. The others are just like him just being a mean person to another person, which is another running a country terribly. But hey, how dare you be mean to that person? And you sitting there in the chair that's like, is that what you're? Is that what you're freaking doing? That's how you're that's how you're judging a president because he's a mean person or somebody else's faults. Because these are the same people like that will blame Trump for the DACA Act, right? They used to blame Trump for the DACA Act back in 2014 when Obama signed the bill of the DACA Act keeping children in cages. They blamed Trump for that. I mean, you won't believe this, but they were blaming Putin for that too. It's one of those things where you're just mix matching and shit and blaming this and that. Yet, and then these are the same people that were like, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist." It's like, but like the irony is weird. But that's one thing I did want to get off my chest because it's like you'll see people like I said before, there's plenty to criticize Trump on, but it's like compared to the leaders you have, I mean, like Trump's a saint. And I'm not saying it because I believe he's a saint. I'm saying it because he actually looks like a saint. And like, and we'll talk about the tribalism too. That's another thing I actually wanted to talk about. We'll talk about the tribalism. It's not really going to be covered on the premiere I will do, so I'm going to cover it here because this is one of the things I did want to cover, like the tribal things people say. And Throne said that you're tribalistic. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If you want to say Trump has a tribalistic MAGA supporters, that's one thing. I'm not denying it, but at least he has supporters. Lots of them. That's the thing. And not every supporter is some tribal guy who is so right wing that if you're on the left, you're a bad person. It's not how every right wing Trump supporter thinks. It's not true. I mean, a select few that may worship Trump, especially in Texas, when they have like restaurants named after him, right? Sure, okay, fine, but then there's just people who actually support him and what he believes. It's not all just a big fucking cult. But everybody that is a Trump supporter is a cult member. I'm willing to accept maybe some that have some sort of idol worship and some shit like that. But let's not beat around the bush. Like some people just simply just support the guy. Oh yeah, he has policies that I support. Oh, he has ideas that I support. Yeah, you agree with everything he says. Stuff like that. And they'll say things like that. Now let's talk about the tribalism on the left. Now, if we're going to call the right a cultist members and the worshipping Trump and shit like that, what do you think the left does? It's not worshipping Trump. They live off of hatred of Trump. What kind of cult is that? They hate him like kind of religiously. Like they will call him every name in the book. Hitler, he's a Nazi, he's a fascist. They'll call him, keep in mind, Nazi and fascist. Like I talked about like Nazi in the past. I'm going to talk about fascist too. And just to talk about this. This is fun to talk about. Nazi in Wikipedia and Google describe Nazi as a right-winged idea and fascist. But back in World War II, the Nazi Party and the Fascist Party were, by the way, the Fascist Party was Mussolini's idea. These were well, I don't know. Well, yeah. Either way, fascism or Nazi was not right-wing's idea. They had nothing to do with it. Read about both. Mussolini had a fascist idea of the art of war, conquering and shit. The Nazi Party was a bit different from the fascist party. In fact, I already covered this. It was not about like war and shit. It was more about the working classes riots and hey, we lost land. This isn't fair. The veterans were angry along with Hitler. He was one of the veterans of the World War One in Germany that were angry. I talked about this in the past of my past stream. Fascism was much different. Wasn't right-winged. Nor was it really communism either. Nazi was like communism, though. Like it. Like it much though. You see where I'm going this, right? Fascism was more like, hey, we want wars. What do you think Biden and Bush did? So many wars started under them, funding wars, right? Disney also said something about Trump pulling out of Syria, but he didn't expand on it. Like, where did that even come from? Like, what is that? He just brought it up in a comment to passing that really didn't have nothing to do with the conversations, like he always does. Then again, that's what leftists do nowadays. They just ignore facts and bring up other shit and ignore the actual point. They don't care. It's hate Trump power, or it's hate Trump days or months. And back to the original point of the tribalism that goes on. Like I already talked about. The cults, like it's cult-like hatred. It's not worshiping, it's hatred. They are hateful. It's not a cult of worship, it's a cult of like just hate the fucker guy. They hate him with a burning passion. That is insane. Think about it. What is worse, a cult of people that love one person or a cult of people that hate one person? What do you think is worse? Let's just even analyze that. How on earth is that even good? Right? You know what I'm going for? We spent a good 11 minutes talking about this. Nice. Good to get back on track of what things I wanted to talk about. So overall is the fact that, yeah, if we're going to talk about Trump having a cult, well, let's look at the left. I mean, this is the pot calling the kettle black. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Okay. There might be idol worship. Well, there is, but there's idol worship. Do not act like you guys have a freaking bona fide fucking hatred for a single man because somebody told you he's bad. You know? Stuff like that. Anyway, how's it going, Minnesota Vikings? Hail King Trump. Hey, the leftists are gonna call you a cult member. Trust me, Vikings, they think you're a cult member now. You cultist. Hail King Trump. Hey, you know. By the way, you don't say that. There's no leftists there. They're not gonna be triggered because they're not watching me. Though I wish. That would be funny. Watching them come in here. You don't know what you're talking about. I wish that happened. Because it's always fun to read their stupid shit up until a certain point where it's like, okay, you're fucking retarded. But still, stupidity is the best form of comedy. Nah. Unfortunately, nobody's here to listen, which is fine because I'm going to be listening to this anyway, and I'm quite sure that a good portion, like 7 people, tune in anyway afterwards. I think so, because I still get some amount of views, which is very low compared to the numbers I used to get, but still. That isn't, but it's cool. But it's awesome. At least people care about what Bullseye. Oh, Bullsey's live? Good to know. Maybe I should go live in the middle of the day. Or that people just like, or maybe I'm more the kind of guy like you just want to listen to. Who knows? Moving on. I already talked about the politics things. Let's talk about pro wrestling. Did you guys realize there's nothing eventful going on? Not in WWE, or not in WWE or AEW. Neither one has interested anybody. Crowds are dead. I mean, WWE still pipes in fake crowd chants. AEW doesn't even have that. And arenas aren't being sold out. No arenas are being sold out. Nobody cares about anything that is happening. Like, nobody even cares about the Bloodline storyline, which was one of the biggest storylines back in like a year ago or so, maybe 2. In the past 3 years, and this is still going on, and nobody cares about it anymore. Yeah, that's how bad it is. Pro wrestling is boring. There's nothing eventful going on. I mean, like, it wasn't as popular as people were claiming it to be like last year and like 6 months ago. But if you want to talk about popularity, how come there's nothing eventful going on? How come nobody's talking about it? It was like last week was lackluster of news. It's just basically like, I like this guy, or this guy's this, or this guy sucks, stuff like that. Nothing eventful happened. Literally nothing eventful. Like nothing noteworthy. Like, hey, you had like 2 years ago, or 2 years ago, a brawl in AEW. That was big news. You had like storylines, backstage shit. I mean, nothing that was extremely popular, but it was noteworthy, newsworthy, and it got people talking, right? Now nobody's talking about it. Now, I can't really speak much on AEW because I don't keep up with that bullshit, and it's dead anyway. It's being held on life support at this point. Thanks, Tony Khan. You are a hero. But as far as WWE is, it still has a 30-year standing and 30-year head start, which is actually amazingly being killed by Triple H, which is actually a lot more impressive when you really think about it. It's like he's trying to have the number one worst booker ever. Man, I can beat you, Tony Khan. I'm catching up. Something. I guarantee you, like, damn, dude, I could have got. Okay, you want to know where I think it went wrong? First of all, the return of CM Punk to pro wrestling. Okay, that's what I think really started the downfall of AEW. CM Punk, I mean, like, he single-handedly fucking plagued the whole thing, caused problems, caused drama, caused chaos. Then people said, "Oh, he manufactured his firing. If he didn't want to be there, why not just quit? Why be there at all?" But whatever. He fabricated his firing. He manufactured it. What? You fucking retarded? Man, fans are retarded. Pro wrestling people are retarded, just like liberals. But either way, started with CM Punk, the return of CM Punk. The real death of pro wrestling. I mean, it was already going down in ratings like ever since the PG era, but still. Christopher Dominguez. How's it going, Volzy? Hey, I didn't know. Hey, man. I know you. I seen you in chats before. Thanks for stopping by, bruh. I'm talking about pro wrestling nowadays. Where was I at? Oh, yeah, the downfall of pro wrestling. It started with CM Punk. I mean, PG era was already going down in ratings, but really started the return of CM Punk, and it was like around 2021, I believe. Yeah, it's been a long time. It was start of 2021, the return of CM Punk. Talk about how he left pro wrestling and quit it, but he was really fired. He just didn't acknowledge WWE. He was really fired. He didn't quit the business. He was fired, and there was nowhere else for him to go to make a name for himself. So he went to go fight and get his ass kicked twice. So he became a commentator. That didn't work out. So now he's back. Then he became some sort of talk host in WWE, Fox, or whatever. That didn't work out. And shit, like, nothing seemed to work out for the guy. Nothing. So pro wrestling was his only way to go, and that even worked out. It didn't even work out in AEW. It was because he was a fucking toxic little shit turd. So if you want to start the downfall of AEW, let's start there. I mean, like, Tony Khan isn't... I mean, sure, Tony Khan's the one booking it, but keep in mind, he's the one that fucking bent over and let CM Punk do what the fuck he wants. He bent over backwards for the guy, and his lawyers for his firing, months before his firing, were telling him, you need to get rid of this guy. He is going to kill your company, stuff like that. It's like you hear that, and just like, dude, fire him. He is a plague. Why do you think Vince fired him, of all people? It's not because he thought it would be like, oh, he's bad. Oh, no, he would make us so much money. I better fire him. No, it's more like, yeah, this guy's a toxic asshole. Like, he just bitches a lot. And I don't care about him. Go away. Just go away. Stuff like that. And there you go. That's really what happened. So, bring back CM Punk was a bad idea. And that's one thing, and that's the start of it. And now that he's then fired, and AEW's in the worst shambles if it's ever been. Now he's in WWE doing absolutely fucking nothing but chasing NXT puss. Yeah, yeah. I'm happy now. Yeah, you're happy because you're allowed to harass women in NXT and you're able to get away with it. Did you see a video of this guy tackling referee women down? Like that was on a wasn't aired by the way, but it was on video by in the crowd, and he realized he was on camera. I was like, oh shit. Man, this is the guy we're dealing with. This cancer. This is the cancer, and we're sitting there allowing him. You know what? This guy was allowed to get away with everything. If it wasn't CM Punk that did all the shit he was pulling, the person would have been castrated, lynched, set on fire, and had a sign saying "worst person ever." Shit, stuff like that. And CM Punk knows it, but he's allowed to get away with it because of idol worship. You know what's worse? Like, now the left is adopting this whole shtick. Oh, you got CM Punk derangement syndrome. So I heard Solon Monster on one video say, "Oh, you guys got JD's derangement syndrome." I'm like, really? Like they actually think that's a legit thing? I mean, like first that was a play on the Trump derangement syndrome thing, and people said it because it was funny. It was a play on people's deranged attitudes towards just the topic of Trump, right? And it was funny to say because it actually, was partially true because they were angry about it. But to them, it's actually a legit thing, and let's just take right-winged memes and say it's placed it and call it original. Yay! There you go. What a fun-loving company that we have here. Epic. Talked about pro wrestling. No, I actually want to talk about what WWE had, the storylines that they had that in the past. I'm going to talk about that for a bit. Now, let's start with Cody Rhodes' storylines, okay? Let's just start with the storylines he had. First of all, during 2023, his return for Royal Rumble, right? 2023, where he won it at number 30, right? Then he went to challenge Roman Reigns. They had good promos, they had good segments. Roman Reigns carried it, but Cody Rhodes followed up. So they both had good segments towards each other. So you could at least somewhat, and at the very least, believe he could be there, right? And it's not like because oh, Cody Rhodes isn't talented or he is talented. It's more like, oh, this is actually good segments. This is something I'm looking forward to. But when Cody Rhodes lost, I was like, okay, maybe they have something better in store. Yes for Roman, no for Cody. Well, depending how you see it. Now, this is the thing. I talked about this in the past where Cody Rhodes had the worst booking and he was booked to be the superhero kind of guy and shit. Now, here's another thing. It's not that it can't work, but it's the way Cody Rhodes went about it himself. So if he tried to be too much like John Cena. He tried to be too much hero-like. Look at me, I'm a superhero. I'm a tough guy. When he was feuding with Brock Lesnar, he did absolutely nothing to entice people. He did absolutely nothing to make it different or seem something you want to remember. It wasn't a memorable thing. You don't look at it and go, huh, that was a good feud, but it wasn't. You didn't know why Brock Lesnar attacked him, and Cody Rhodes did absolutely nothing different to make that storyline work. He is working with. Now, keep in mind, if you're trying to say Brock Lesnar at fault, no, that's not his fault. First of all, he literally allowed himself to lose twice to the guy. He literally allowed the guy to pass out in a Kimura lock and pretend he's injured during the match, right? Brock Lesnar did his part to make Cody Rhodes look strong. Everything else should be on Cody Rhodes. Like, okay. One guy. We're relying on you. He didn't alter his promos. He didn't think about, okay, how am I going to make this work? This guy's beating me up. I have everything at my disposal. What do I do? People are going to feel bad for me for being beaten up by some behemoth guy who's clearly outmatches me and I'm being beaten up for no reason. So how do I make this work? oh shit, how do I retaliate? He didn't do any of that. He was just like, I'm gonna fight you, Lesnar. I'm gonna fight you. You ready for a fight? Dude, is this retarded? Like, he didn't think of anything. He just pretended he's tough. He pretended he's tough against a guy who clearly was getting his ass whooped by. Like, you're not winning. How am I supposed to believe you'll win? They did an absolutely terrible job at telling the story. Don't get me wrong, but Cody Rhodes did an absolutely terrible job at even keeping the feud. Brock Lesnar carried the feud because of the name value, by the way. That's all he had to do. But Cody Rhodes couldn't get over working with Brock Lesnar. What does that say about Cody? Enough to say, yeah, time to go back to the drawing board for you, Cody. This isn't working out for you. Shout out to the 3 viewing. Good to know that some actually, like, it's good to know. But back on topic. Here are the storylines. Yeah. So, Brock Lesnar. Now, everything else when it comes to storylines, as far as the Judgment Day, Nakamura feud for whatever fuck reasons, that is still stupid. And I'm talking about 2023, by the way. Storylines, they had a lot of storylines, but they sacrificed a lot for Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes did absolutely nothing different. He didn't cut any good promos. He didn't cut anything that makes you want to remember. He didn't say anything that makes you go, oh, he should be main event performer. The only thing people were saying about him, and I mean this, was he should be the one to beat Roman. No reason given, no explanation given, outside of the fact that there was a 2-year build that didn't exist. I'm imbibed, guys. I'm imbibed. Now, here's the storylines WWE could have done. Number 1, you start with Cody Rhodes in the first place. They could have done the storyline where he's like Gollum. If the storyline is finishing story to get the WWE title, then it should evolve around it. His world should evolve around it where he does slimy shit to get to it. Acting like a hero. That would have been cool, fine. That's 1. Number 2, you had the LA Knight storyline. You had the Jey Uso storyline. You had the Randy Orton storyline, AJ Styles storyline, and the Rock storyline. Let's go through them chronological order. First, Jey Uso. Jey Uso was breaking away from the bloodline and finally going to beat Roman Reigns, breaking away after all this abuse. One of the biggest storylines and one of the biggest bloodline climax breaking points at SummerSlam. You know what Triple H does? Yeah, I'm just going to send him to Raw and do absolutely nothing with him. And keep Jamie with the bloodline, even though he broke away too. Yeah, that's how that dude thinks. Sacrificed Jay's storyline. Now, storyline number 2, where John Cena pitches LA Knight. LA Knight actually hangs with Roman and actually best him in one point during a segment of signing the contract. Suffering Succotash, he outdid Roman Reigns in a promo during a segment of signing the contract. It was an entertaining one. Now, their storyline didn't come to an end quite yet, but Triple H just kind of like put it on the back burner. He had LA Knight lose, but then the next day after Crown Jewel, he would get beaten up by Bloodline, but beat them up back the next day. Wow, what a compelling story between LA Knight and the Bloodline. But then there's a Randy Orton return where he promises revenge on every single member of the Bloodline, forgives Jey, goes to SmackDown, challenges Roman, and it ends at Royal Rumble. So you were going to tell the and to drop the storyline for Randy Orton, but guess what? They didn't even finish LA Knight's story, and they haven't even dropped that yet. And AJ Styles came back and didn't even have his storyline for Roman, so let's just throw them in all 3 one match in a fatal 4-way, and we'll have Roman win, and that's it. All 3 storylines dropped along with Jay's for Cody Rhodes. But you know what even the worst part about it is? Even though those 4 storylines were dropped for Cody, it does make sense those storylines were dropped because The Rock was planned to have a match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the WWE title. And that was dropped for Cody Rhodes. And guess what? Cody Rhodes still couldn't get over working with The Rock. Yay! Ricky Stinky. What is going on, man? What if they did a storyline where Cody Rhodes saves Donald? That is awesome, man. I love you, man. That's awesome. Yeah, that alone is the best storyline you ever came up with. That is alone is better than any storyline Triple H or Tony Khan can come up with. Good job, Ricky Stanky. Wait, how do you pronounce it? That's awesome. Thanks for the awesome storyline pitch. Why not? Why not? I'm all for it. It's something. I think Donald Trump would be all for it too. Like, come save me from the radical left. Cody Rhodes is a Trump supporter anyway, so why not? I'm all for it. But it would piss off the IWC because most of them are left-leaning dumbasses. Fine, piss them off. I don't care. Go against the grain. Push them away. A lot of people will fucking like WWE if they actually went for that. I'm all for it. Actually, go for it. Like, why not? It'll be fun. It's something new. It's something you wouldn't expect. I'm all for it. It's outside of the box. It's stupid, but it works. I'm all for stupid. Stupid is the best form of comedy. But I already covered that. Man. Here's another storylines that I should talk about. Jey Uso. They didn't even do with anything with Jey Uso in 2023. They just had him lose all the time. But this is one storyline I wish they capitalized on. That could have been a blood feud. Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. Now understand this. Like these two already had history, and Triple H already did the storyline where people are mad at Jey Uso because he helped cost them the match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship or the Universal Championship to win against Roman Reigns, right? But Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso could have had they had something there. They had something there, but it was not capitalized on. But I'm going to talk about why it was there, why it should have been. Number one, Drew McIntyre was an angry psychopath. Angry at the fact that Jey Uso is one of the reasons why he cost him the main championship and also getting opportunities that he thought he should have, right? That's one. But Jey Uso is a loyal hothead, and Drew McIntyre keeps hurting his friends. That is already a set piece for a blood feud. Jey Uso keeps getting in his way. Drew McIntyre is sick and tired of it, and he frickin' beats the shit out of him, attacks his family, attacks his dad. And guess what? This leads to a match at the Royal Rumble 2024. Blood feud. Done. Boom. Boom. But Edge was like, you too hard. I can't do that. Guarantee you Tony Khan will be like, okay, we'll do it. We're going to have the series of matches. He would at least fucking capitalize on shit like that. He'll be like, oh, good idea. I'm going to do it. Hopefully it's a 5-star banger. Nah. Fun talks. Now, we talk about all that. What's one thing that I haven't talked about? Well, Jimmy Uso and his storyline, but he didn't have much of a story. They just moved him back with the bloodline. You know where Solo Sikoa beat John Cena at Crown Jewel, even though that meant nothing? I think it should have been Jimmy Uso. I really thought it should have been Jimmy Uso. It would have added to the heel heat, him beating up John Cena with a steel chair to a point where disqualification, but he doesn't care. He just keeps hurting him. Would have been awesome. He didn't care about a win. He just cared about hurting John Cena. And then he brags about the next day how he put a legend out of commission. An old legend out of commission. That would have been a cool heel heat. Why not? Solo Sikoa is boring. He's always been boring. Nobody likes him. But I guarantee you, he's the only reason why he's bloodline, head of the bloodline, the new tribal chief, is because Triple H just was the first to find him. He's my guy. He's mine. Stuff like that had nothing to do with actually like the talent. It's just having everything to do with he's Samoan, and I hired him, so I'm going to push him. He basically is just using Roman Reigns' gimmick. Well, I'm tribal chief. I'm head of the table. Bruh, dude, it's Roman's gimmick. It's nothing original. It's just basically like It's basically like this. Hey, can I have new bloodline? Can I have the bloodline? We already got bloodline at home and bloodline at home stuff like that. That's the meme. That it's like it's the freaking shitty rendition of the actual good bloodline storyline with actual build up, with actual reasons, with the actual motivations. Meh. Well, don't talk about that. Poor WWE. Ran by a dumbass, big nose idiot. Yay, and he's Satanist too. So you know. Uh, talking about that. I also want to talk about Crappy Kai, also known as Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, Crappy Kai. What do you guys? What name is better, Cobra Kai or Crappy Kai? Season 6, Marcia. We talked about a good portion of things. I'm going to talk about Crappy Kai. Season 6. Now, yeah. Oh, what is up, WB Wayne? Charleston White needs to roast Solo. Agreed, why not? Anyway, Crappy Kai. Season 6. What do I think so far? Now, I'm just going to go off the bat and say, I don't hate the show. I do like it. I mean, it's not really believable, but I do like it. I thought it was fun to watch. The karate combat could have been better. I mean, it was best in season 4 and season 5, but then, you know, the other seasons weren't that great. But knock fights were fun, I guess. Some of the fight scenes were just like overdone, over the top, and it's just like, okay, come on. Can I believe what I'm seeing? Stuff like that. But overall, you'd have fun seeing the fights. Right? You'd have fun. It was a fun show. It had some good storylines. Some things you could enjoy. Some things you might be like, what? And so overall, Cobra Kai was a fun series to watch. Still is. Until now. Until season 6 happened. I don't understand. One of the worst things is its fan base, but I'll get to that later. Right now, let's just talk about the freaking season 6. Now, the first part I watched was like, I'm not sure what they're going for, but Kenny not being mad at Robbie about not being able to warn him about Cobra Kai, even though he tried to warn him about Cobra Kai and pull him out, but he's still mad at him about not being pulled out. Okay, but whatever. But then his brother Sean is out, right? And says, back off. We don't want, that's fine. And he says, don't have anything to do with it. Please back off. Which should take a sign as, okay, just back off, leave him alone, okay? It's not worth it. Right? But Robbie is like, well, I'm going to intervene again, even though they told me, please don't. And walks up and says to Sean, and they have a confrontation where here's there and there. And Robbie was like, last time I threw the first punch and threw the first strike, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm like, okay, the show's already cringe enough. Can you stop? It's like you're trying to fucking cringe the shit out of me. And the fights, in the fight scene happened, and it was just like, what am I watching? It just looked fucking goofy. It looked so goofy. I mean, other fight scenes looked goofy, but this one was just an epiphany of goofy. For a drama show of fighting, of people taking karate seriously, the fights are just now goofy. It just looked terrible. Cobra Kai has too many women characters, and we can talk about that for a bit. But I want to just talk about the storyline so far. So Kenny eventually goes back, and you know what? The most sane thing ever said on the show was, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard. And that was after Kenny said, strike hard, strike fast, and something like that. Don't remember the whole fucking thing, but that was the most normal thing somebody ever said on the show. Ever. That to me was insane. That was nuts. Like, and it's not really a normal show. But then you go back to season 1, and it had pretty normal shit going on. Season 2 had some pretty normal shit going on. Season 3 just went a little too dark and edgy, and a little more insane. Season 4, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was down to earth at some point, but other was just like, okay, At points, it just felt like it was moving too fast. Season 5 certainly felt like it was moving too fast. Though they were enjoyable for the most part. Season 6 is just not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable. And it's just like the point where Kenny actually finally joins Miyagi-Do, and Robbie fist bumps him, Miguel fist bumps him, but then there's no really arc of Hawk being angry at him or wanting to beat him up, which should have happened. That would have been fun. But no, we don't want to do that. Again, can we have an arc of Hawk trying to beat up Kenny and Kenny running away from him? That would have been more entertaining than anything on the show right now. Hawk chasing around Kenny is freaking hilarious. That thought, get back here, you little shit. Like, no, I didn't mean to. I didn't know Silver would help me cheat. Shut up and get your ass kicked by me. This is a long time coming. And Miguel and Robbie chasing after Hawk. No, he's on our side now, Hawk. Come on, stop. They're like, no, I'm gonna kick his little shitty ass. That would have been like stuff like that would have been fun. But I guess it's due to time constraints, they didn't do shit like that. Instead, they thought a good idea was over a college or university, have Hawk fight over Dimitri over that, even though it really doesn't matter. Okay, that's their storyline they want to focus on, but fuck it, whatever. Also, does anybody else think the same thing? But Hawk and Dimitri, season 3, when they first teamed up like that, okay, I can forgive it. I mean, it's just a reunion of two best friends, right? Right. As cringe as it was, I let it go. I mean, it was fun to see. But seeing it multiple times in the frickin' tournament arc and Sekai Taikai, it just felt, why am I seeing this? Especially during the frat boy fight. Like, I don't want to see that. Who wants to see that, teaming up like that? I want to see Hawk just beat the shit out of somebody. Dimitri, like, I mean, he's there, I guess. They don't really do much with him. He's just the kind of guy who says witty things, and I guess it's supposed to be comedy relief, but he doesn't really help people laugh. He's just there. Yeah, that's it. You want to see people like Hawk, Miguel, and Robbie beat somebody up. Well, mostly Hawk. He's not really there to be number one. He's there just for, hey, you want a badass? Oh, there he is. He's going to beat some people up. Right? Right. But they don't do that. Also, like, there's another thing where I thought this was stupid too. Mike Barnes versus Johnny. The fights are telegraphed as shit. Like, season 6 fights look so telegraphed. It just they don't even look as choreographed as they were in like season 5 or 4. Like, the fights in geography were much better in season 5 and 4. Season 6 is just like, okay, get your shit in. Just throw some random punching kicks. Like, let's not even make it look like a legit fight. Dude, it just looked so bad. Like, I'm like, you could have spent more time on this fight geography. No, forget about the fucking stupid acting. Forget about the stupid choreography. Well, not the geography. Stupid acting, stupid storylines. Forget about all that. Stupid words and slangs. Like, why not just focus on the fight geography if you're just gonna do all this stupid shit anyway? Like, it's gonna be heavily based on fighting anyway, so why not just focus on that? Like, focus, like, okay, fine, and focus on the fights. I don't care. And you could even do that. It's like, man, they really went lazy for this. I don't know if it was time constraints or they just didn't care, or it's just the final season and they're saving for the best parts for the third part of season 6. But that's not an excuse for the lackluster of part 1 and 2. Like, you might as well just take them out. Like, if you needed more time, that's one thing, but what were they doing with their time? Like, okay, one, back, like, actors take their roles seriously. Back in the day, people would take their roles seriously, okay? We gotta play this to perfection. We gotta do it this way. Look the part. Exercise. Do it daily, right? Acting, I'm not too sure about the acting scenes overall, but there is strict rules about acting in general. What about looking parts, looking the good, being good shape, having a strict diet, on time every day, separate your work from your life, right? Stuff like that. And it seemed like everybody there, and they did hire even professional that or martial artists, and it's just like, why not, dude? The only good fight that looked even remotely good was Kwan versus Robbie during the first season, where they were having a fight, and there was one moment where Robbie had him in like a back. I'm not sure, remember what it's called, but he had him by the head and he had him bending backwards, basically like a chokehold. Then he looks at Tori for whatever reason because he can't learn from his past mistakes. I like Tori. Shut up. No one cares. We want to see karate fights, not your freaking worry for somebody that decided to join the opposite team. Yeah. Yeah, that's that. There's a lot more I'm missing, and there's a lot of stupid shit that just happens. Robbie being kissed by a freaking gal he doesn't even know, took him to her motel, and apparently he drank. She got him drunk. I'm guessing she did some statutory rape shit. I don't know. Poor guy. He doesn't remember what happened though. But I do hope he wins the whole thing just to stick it to Miguel fans. Like that's another thing. Like Miguel fans were mad at the fact that Robbie beat Miguel in season 6. Like they're mad. They're mad at that. I don't know why people are mad at that. Like it kind of like it doesn't make sense to you. Like Robbie being able to beat Miguel. People want Miguel to win everything. I don't know why. Like he's already won the first. He already won the freaking. He already won the tournament first time. He's been able to look strong most of the time, right? So like I don't know why you need this guy to win everything. Dude, chill out. He's not absolute, based on absolutes, and he shouldn't be. But then, like, there's one moment they're even having, hey, show how it's done. Like Hawk sucks him off, like, oh, no, it's not your fault for fighting badly. It's Robbie's fault. Like, okay, so I get it. First role leadership is everything is your fault. But goddamn, dude, that's your piss poor fighting abilities. You lost to Quan pretty easily compared to Robbie. But then there's the fact that he's like, I can fight better than you. Like I'm fighting better than you. Then they have him fight 2 people at once and win. Meanwhile, everybody else loses in Miyagi. Like, is this your way of trying to make somebody look strong? Is that what we're doing? Get out of here. It's just a lot of stupid shit. Anyway, Cobra Kai has too many women characters. I'm not too sure if that's even a remote problem, but I could see why somebody might find that an issue. Like one, okay, it will be more appealing for men fighting than women fighting. That's one thing. Because like you see like, okay, this is kind of an aggressive field for men and not for women. Why do you want women fighting an aggressive field? So that's one thing. So like I could see where that comes from. Like, yeah, I want to see fucking aggressive shit. You don't want to see a woman get punched in the face. It's kind of like, not appealing, right? So maybe that's what you're saying, Ricky Star Stinky. Like nobody wants to see women fight. At least not that many women. Like, okay, can we tone it down? I don't like seeing women get punched in the face. Like that's kind of a male thing. Of course, like I mean, who wouldn't think that? It's kind of a natural, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I got it on the money. So like I can see where you're coming from with it. And I'm not gonna say I disagree with it. I'm not saying I'm against women being in the sport either. Like I don't mind the idea. Like cool, I like seeing pretty women on TV. I mean, but then again, you don't have to have them fight either, do you? Don't even remember women fighting in the OG movies. They never did. They never did. You're right. Why include women in everything. I guess that's the point. No, you don't need to include women in everything. Stop it, please. Probably the sexist bullshit. Who knows? As for me, I'm not against it. But then again, doesn't mean you have to have them fight either. So, if you want women cast, just have them look pretty for the camera. Why not? Hey, just have them be there to look pretty for the camera. That's what King and Asherod is, in the manga at least. The writer, oh, I like women, so I'm not going to have them fight, but I'm going to have them be there and look pretty. Why not? I'm glad we got that cleared up. Yeah, I talked about a lot of things. I talked about everything actually. It's good. It was actually good to go an hour a bit. Good to get out and do this streaming. I had fun talking about some stuff. Well, I'll do it again. I'm still planning the premiere, so I'm willing to take more questions. I'm doing a little bit more. Maybe somebody has something more to say. Ricky Stanky, thanks for joining, by the way. Thank you, Christopher Dominguez. Thank you, Minnesota Vikings fan, for joining the stream. That's nice. Should Goldberg's son go WWE if his football career flunks or he goes on a team like the Giants? Here's my thought, Ricky Stanky. I don't trust Triple H with Goldberg's son, and I don't trust Tony Khan with Goldberg's son. Not that you said he should go to AEW, but let's just say for the sake of argument, he goes to pro wrestling in general, okay? Just stay away from pro wrestling. If his football career flunks, go to the team of Giants, okay? You're going to have a better football career than you're going to have a WWE career. Even if you're athletic and more fit than everybody else, Triple H is going to look at you like, you're not a black and gold guy. And Tony Khan might look at him and go, oh, can you do flips? And he'll be like, no. Well, fuck you. I'm going to put you in the closet, never use you ever again. And forget about him, stuff like that. You never know. You never know. Like, he's better off in football. He really is. I don't trust anybody, any professional wrestling company, any booker, anybody with Goldberg's son. And Goldberg's son is extremely, I can guarantee you, I haven't seen him before, but if he's Goldberg's son, he's probably very fit, very strong, and very, bulky. Like Braun, but Triple H doesn't really do much with him. Okay, I'll just give him the Intercontinental Championship and do nothing really with him, but just enough to keep him relevant because he is marketable. I think I got that. But that is an interesting question too. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Like, WWE is a no-go. Trust me, like, WWE for any actual athletes is just a no-go. Like, that is actually their kryptonite. It's for people who think they're athletes, okay? Pretend to be athletes, not actual athletes. Okay? It's bizarre for got people, they like doing gymnastics and a bunch of flips and shit. Somebody like Bill Goldberg's son would be a cool fit. And it's funny because Bill Goldberg is one of the most protected professional wrestlers of all time. But at the same time, he was over as shit. He was over as shit, at least. So it's just like, if this guy could get over with being the most protected, yeah, I think his son can do just as good, if not better. I don't know, how big is Bill Goldberg's son? I don't know. I hope it's pretty big. Hope it's at least 6'5". Christopher Dominguez says, you hear of the IWC dweebs spurging out over WWE having another women's title? There's 4 too many titles Triple H is keep pushing. TWRP is going to have a field day covering this. So basically, is the IWC literally praising Triple H for having another women's title, or are they spurging out by criticizing it? Because spurging out, like, I mean, they spurg out over anything, whether it's positive or negative. They have a weird shit. They're all like, I don't think they're autistic, but they're acting, and I hate saying it, but they act very. They act worse than autistic. There's not much to put it. They're praising it. Okay, so they're retarded. So it's not autistic, they're just being retarded. Yay, there's too many titles. Okay, okay. How do I break this down? If you can't establish a women's star, this is just a thought. If no women is your star, how do you expect them to get over as a champion? Okay, like, think about it. Think about, like, if there's any chance, any possible, any inkling of a chance Triple H even listens to this stream. I really want to know, how do you expect people to get over with a championship that they can't even get over on their own? Is this rocket science? I don't I don't understand his line of thinking. What is his line of thinking? I mean, he's already got the speed title that nobody knows about. Like, what are you hoping people do? Like, you don't have a big roster of women anyway. How do you how are you expecting people to get over? Maybe if I give them a championship, they'll be more over. Funny, people want Chelsea Green as the women's United States champion when she's Canadian. Interesting. My pick is that's a good one. I don't know very many women. I don't keep up with the current product, but who's a good woman to be a United States champion? A good woman to be the women's Intercontinental champion. If it's not if Tiffany Stratton is gonna be women's champion, how about give her the Intercontinental championship? Why not? Why not? Go for it. As for United States championship for women, oh, I mean, no real big stars for women on Raw. So count your losses, buddy. You're not doing anything with it. But I already there's only like one other talented woman I already mentioned. Liv Morgan. I mean, she's talented. I don't like her too much, but she's talented. Tiffany Stratton, I like her though. I like her. She's awesome. I hope Tiffany Stratton wins the championship. I just hope she gets the Draper title over her. I mean, like, that's a girl who's actually over with the crowd. Why not give it to her? Give her something. Like, at least reward her for her work. Alexa Bliss, if she comes back, well, I'm not against it. You know what? I'm only for it, and I'm only saying I'm for it because I want to see JD pissed off. And I have the frickin' song JD's a sad boy. I'm hearing a scream on my TV. It must be JD on another angry spree. Don't give your opinions that are different than his. Don't even say you're a fan of Alexa Bliss. That is like, I will be fucking have a field day, dude. I want the Alexa Bliss to come back and win the Women's United States Championship just to see JD go off. I want him to go off. Triple H isn't actually booking this shit, is he? Yeah. Tiffany definitely worked the marks even like her. Yeah. Roxanne Perez is far overpushed in NXT. I don't keep up with NXT. And honestly, it's not worth keeping up with because, like, Shawn Michaels, it's not even Shawn and Michaels NXT anyway because it's Triple H fucking doses his balls into it every now and then. But as far as Roxanne goes, I think Roxanne shouldn't be NXT champion. I think she's a good marketing. She's someone nice to look at and somebody fun to look at. She shouldn't be women's champion. That's my thought. She's talented, don't get me wrong, but she shouldn't be there. She's a midget. She's a women's version of a vanilla midget. I'm not saying midgets, vanilla midget, or these midgets can't have entertaining things. I'm entertained by them for the most part. But, and I'm saying this, but just because they're entertaining does not mean they're meant for the main event spot. Just saying. So she shouldn't be NXT champion. Take it off her. Now. And it's not for everybody. That's just the fact. Please and thank you. If she really wants to look like a believable world champion, how about fucking get knee surgeries or something? I don't know. Look taller. Maybe get a little muscle without looking not feminine. I don't know. Rey Mysterio is a short legend. Exactly. He's a short legend, and that's not because it was a world championship reign. That's because he was actually very talented in the ring and fun to see. Had fun storylines and mid-card storylines that actually were popular. Rey Mysterio is a successful pro wrestler. Though he should have never been a main eventer, that's not exactly his fault. It's more like the Vince McMahon's fault deciding, like, maybe I should make him champion because of Eddie Guerrero shit. Nah, it should have just been Randy Orton versus Kurt Angle, which is another topic. Yeah. By the way, hi, Mr. Michael Myers, 2004. Nice to see you in here. I got an active chat. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Hey guys. So, like, anything else? Like, and actually, to explore this. Like, Rey Mysterio was he was one of the few popular actual midgets. You know. He needs the Danny DeVito rub. Maybe. Anyway, how you doing, Michael Myers? I like your profile pic, by the way. What is that? It's a lion and it's called Michael Myers 2004. Shit. We're doomed. He's gonna come for us all. Anyway. Rey Mysterio. Fun. Rey Mysterio is fun to see in the ring. And he's like 48 years old and he still does the freaking crazy shit. Must be because he's actually healthy and is safe in the ring and doesn't hurt anybody. And he doesn't do anything like I don't know, reckless. And he's a high-flying pro wrestler. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? He's not injury-prone. Wow. It's almost like there's a safe way of doing shit. Who would have thought? Maybe learn from your legends, people, please. That's what Logan Paul did. Maybe you can do it the same thing. Yeah. Would you give Bronson Reed a rap gimmick? He keeps posting rap references. You know what I would actually give Bronson Reed? You know what I would actually do to him for him? Like, okay, this is going to sound fucked up. And this is also what I would do with Kevin Owens. I want these two to feud, okay? Picture this. How do you guys like this? Over at a McDonald's, okay? This is how the feud starts between Kevin Owens and Bronson Reed. This is how the feud starts. Over at a McDonald's, okay? Two fat guys, Bronson Reed and Kevin Owens, are fighting over a McMuffin, okay? One of them is wearing a red tuxedo with a blue tie, and on the back of his shirt says a fag for the blues. That's Bronson Reed, and he's wearing glasses. He's wearing Charlie Brown glasses, looking like an autist. On another one, you gotta like this. Kevin Owens, his opponent, wearing a thug-like costume, sagging pants with one pant leg pulled up to his thigh, And he has a white shirt on saying I'm black, and he's wearing a MAGA hat. And they're both fighting over a frickin' McMuffin in a McDonald's, causing chaos, breaking tables under their weights, breaking chairs, flying everywhere, disrupting families. And they're just fighting over a McMuffin. This is how the feud starts. That's how we do it. Bronson Reed needs that autistic gimmick saying a fag for the blues. He's a fag for the blues. And Kevin Owens is a guy who thinks he's black and he supports MAGA. And he's a thug. Like, that's what you do. There you go. That's what you do with them. Okay, we need that. We need it now. Give it to them. Please do it. We need it. If this doesn't happen, pro wrestling is doomed for life. All right. Anyway, I wouldn't give Bronson Reed a grab gimmick. I don't think he's that talented. He's talented enough to be like pretend to be Bam Bam Bigelow. I don't think he's untalented. I think he has talent and he's fun to see. He's just reckless. He's reckless. Like, he injured Braun Strowman. How do you injure somebody more size you're working with in safe match, like pretend fights, and you still injure a guy bigger than you? You would have to be so unsafe, right? You injured Braun Strowman, somebody half your more size than you, that is literally twice as much your size. Somehow you injure him in a scripted fight. Are you like? How did you do that? Bronson Reed is unsafe. So give him that autistic Charlie Brown glasses retard fact for the blue gimmick. Kevin Owens is going to have the MAGA I'm black guy thug gimmick. Bronson Reed needs to do that New Zealand dance. Cool. He might get over with it finally. Anyway, how do you like that? My gimmick for Bronson Reed along with Kevin Owens. A McMuffin fight. Do you watch football and do you know Antonio Brown, aka AB, and what he fit in wrestling? If you do know him, I don't know him. To be fair, honest. Okay. Well, give me a good description of him, then I can make a guess. If this was the Ruthless Aggression era, most of those jobbers would be on Heat and Velocity, then main eventing on Raw and SmackDown. I think I know what you're talking about, actually. Yeah, actually, that might actually be happening. Main eventing. They wouldn't be like jobber would be Heat and Velocity, the main venting. Heat and Velocity. I think I know what you're talking about. But I think you're talking about like I can't remember. But yeah, they wouldn't be on Raw or SmackDown. In fact, Prince of Man will probably be making them do a lot more freaking embarrassing shit, especially how they are. Oh, you think you're so good? Well, do this then, you fucking piece of shit. Fuck you. Raw. Stuff. No. He's on Twitter and he does post like Cracker of the Day. He's pretty popular on there. Trump and his son know him well. Okay. So like okay. I don't think he would fit in pro wrestling well. Like, if he is talented at all, if he has any pull, and if he's ever popular, he's not really going to be pushed in WWE. And he could like make a draw, because if he's popular and has something to do with football, yeah, that would be good for WWE. But Triple H wouldn't really do anything with him. He would probably just have him make him a couple appearances, try to make a mid-card champion, and try to job him out if he could. But I think if he is as that popular, he'd have enough pull to make some decisions for himself and have creative control. But also, he would have to study some pro wrestling moves, and because the IWC is very strict, they need to be able to wrestle, stuff like that. But the IWC probably doesn't know him either. So he could definitely do something pro wrestling, especially if you got people like Logan Paul being able to do something for it. So yeah, he could make it, especially with the popularity he has already. Yeah, he could make it. But you just have to watch out for Triple H and his favorites. That's all. He's known for having CTE, so yeah. So some concussions happening to him. That's poor guy. Well, that alone, like I said before, he plays more demanding sport. And as far as pro wrestling goes, people just like hurting themselves. So yeah, they would like Antonio Brown. He's a good, famous laughing stock where you can't hate him. Hmm. Hey, you never know, but I'm just going off of like what I'm being told. And if he is popular and has something to do with football, yeah, he's gonna be popular. He's already more popular than half the fucking roster, if not all of it. So yeah, you seen the Costa guys on AEW? I don't even watch AEW. I didn't even keep up with that shit, dude. That's brain rot. It's like it'll be like watching TikTok, but if you made it 60 minutes longer. Mm. You seen Costa guys on AEW? AEW isn't worth watching anymore. It's on life support. It's being held on life support. It's a 5-year, 6-year-old company. It's like Tony Khan did a terrible job at running that. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, you fucking asshole. Autistic weirdo. That's an autist, by the way. Well, he's got money enough. He's got enough money to keep that afloat. They got 20 million views on YouTube. The Costco guys. Well, actually, that's a good idea. That's a good thing, isn't it? Fucking shit. So, like, how popular is the Costa guys in general? Like, if that alone got 20 million views, that must be a good thing, right? So, like, there's some hope. Maybe AW might turn around, but that's a big leap. Well, who knows? It's not like AW is completely terrible. Some people still like it. Good for you. Like, no hate for you. I just think the show sucks. But still, that's actually that's good news. Yeah. Yes, they're pretty popular now. They were on Jimmy Fallon a few weeks ago, so they are normie mainstream now. Oh, well, that's a good news because they're appealing to more casuals. That's a good sign because casual people will make up most of your audience. Okay, your viewers and your crowds. Okay, so like this is a good sign. I'll take that as a good sign because like that means like they're expanded. I'll check them out when they have the chance. Don't get me wrong. Because if it was that good, that says enough. Like it may have been that good. But like if normie is what we're kind of looking for anyway. Tired of the sicko shit. Get rid of the fat, smelly, terrible hygiene, fat turd bitches. We went for an hour and 13 minutes, guys. Nice, nice. It's cool with the Q&A. I'm willing to go more. Second most popular in all of wrestling besides some Joe Henry thing. Cool. As long as there's people that are gonna make some draws and shit, that's what's important. That is an important part. Drawing people in, making people invest in what you're doing. That is the first thing. If you can't do that, well, fucking shit. Bye bye. Eh, well, it's better numbers than mine still. Sex charge 1,000 for Dynamite still. Still better than anything I get on the YouTube. That's still. But anyway. Yeah. So like we got a lot of comments. We got a lot going on here. Yeah. These wrestlers, the good ones, like LA Knight, could be a mess if they had more days off to do movies. Actually, there is one moment where TKO pitched LA Knight to do Slim Jim commercials or something like that. and Triple H picks somebody else. So like, it'd be interesting, and I wouldn't mind seeing LA Knight do a movie. And I think he'd be good for some roles. I don't know which though. And I'm sure they're making movies for a lot. But here's another thing though. Like a lot of WWE back in the day, they would let them do movies. Okay, get your name out there, get publicity, and maybe people too. Oh, maybe people do research. Oh, you do pro wrestling? I wonder what you do. Oh, cool, you're awesome. Stuff like that. Best ghetto hood movies for LA Knight? Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he'd fit for the role. I'm thinking more like some narcissistic leader of a nation of a comedy movie. Because he's always funny to hear. Yeah, like he's to me funny. Like I can see him being freaking king of England, him ruling it, and saying taxes for having ball sacks. Yeah, no other man can have a ball sack like I can. Like I totally see him in roles like that. Cool. I want to see that stuff. I think. Yeah, I honestly want to see LA Knight in a movie. Like LA Knight would be a fucking like a comedy movie where he's a villain. Honestly, it would be cool. A villain entitled a narcissistic political leader of a nation where he just taxes everything, taxes having dick, taxes having to walk, taxes having too long of a tongue, taxing too short of a tongue. He'll tax you if you sneeze. Yeah, nobody can sneeze like me. I could totally see him do shit like that. That'd be cool. Guy could be really good in commercials, like the Snickers and M&Ms. I can imagine him doing those commercials. Like he would definitely make people laugh and like, I love it. Make commercials great again. You remember when football had funny commercials? Now they just spam the fucking political ads and shit. And now they're boring. Commercials used to be funny. No, they're not anymore. LA Knight could bring back the funniness of commercials. That'd be cool. I mean, like commercials meant something nowadays. Back then, now it's just like politically driven most of the time. Like nobody wants that. The candy ads, I had never seen the candy ads, but well, if you're talking about the M&M ads, yeah, they're funny still. And the M&M ads are like, yeah, there's the yellow M&M talking to the fan, like a literal fucking spinning fan is like, hey man, what are you doing? I'm telling all our fans that we got a new colored M&M. It was like, dude. Yeah, there's funny M&M videos still out there. So yeah, I agree. Always like this one will always be ingrained by my memory. Like back in the when I first heard seen this commercial, it was like a kid slapping a Dorito out of a grown man's hand. It was like 5 or 6. He legitimately slaps the Dorito out of his hand. It was like, what the fuck? Like, don't touch my Doritos, and you don't touch my mama. Where did that go? It was so out of the. I was so out of the blue and out of fucking left field, but it was awesome. Like, what happened to commercials? Everything's political now. You see fucking 30-second videos like, oh, but Trump's bad, or political videos about fucking somebody being bombed, or somebody fucking being raped, and how transgenders are being like mistreated or stuff like that. I don't want to see that. I want to see something funny. I want to see something random, like a guy walking by, and then all of a sudden a dodgeball hits him in the face, and he does a fucking 360, and then falls on flat on his face, and then all of a sudden a fucking fat guy falls on him. Maybe that. Nah, God. You think WWE, even if it's good, could actually get good ratings because ratings of all shows are declining? Um, that's an interesting question. If WWE starts getting good again, let's just play with this. If WWE starts getting good again, let's just argue with this. Like, something that is good doesn't always equate to good ratings. Let's be honest here. Okay, something could be good. Like Triple H can have a great show tomorrow, but it still wouldn't draw for reasons, for lots of reasons. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the things he puts on it's terrible. But back, like, if he, even if he had decided to have a good show, like let's make something good, right? And he's had some good shows on Raw and SmackDown. Don't get me wrong, but they weren't something to make people to tune back in for multitude of reasons. Because the people he has do not do anything for anybody watching. They aren't somebody that makes people want to tune in. They're not popular. They're not over what the crowd is people think they are. And they're not somebody like you look forward to seeing. Maybe for the multitude of people like your gatekeepers, like the in IWC that is like low and small, the minority of people. Like when TWRP says you got to appeal to the casual crowds, they mean like use some people that are actually noteworthy people. Like this is no secret. It's not about like having a good show or bad show. It's like what works. Like writing wise and story wise can exist, and I always pitch this idea. I always say this: how you can have a good program is a good writing and good stories, but that's not going to save your ratings. What really will save your ratings is more of two people, like for instance, Roman versus Gronk. That would have sold. That was the selling part. They just didn't decided to capitalize on it. You can't you can't rely on guys who just aren't going to draw. Cody Rhodes isn't a draw. He doesn't bring people new viewers. Doesn't bring new viewers. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't even sell that many merch. CM Punk sells merch. And I don't even like CM Punk. He's a fucking piece of shit. But he at least sells merch. Cody Rhodes doesn't. Yeah, that's as bad. But CM Punk isn't bringing in new viewers either, to be quite frank. They're not. The guys you have in the IWC that are basically pro wrestling from fucking Ring of Honor trash, they're not draws. And it's not because they're not talented or they don't have personalities, which most of them don't, but it's more so that they're not marketable. They're just not marketable. You got to have somebody marketable like Roman Reigns or The Rock. And that was the selling part of WrestleMania 40, but no, we got to flush that down the toilet for Cody Rhodes. You know, you see what I'm saying? Getting good, you can get good tomorrow and have a great show, but it doesn't equate to good ratings. Not every show that actually has a good start makes it. That's just the way it is. Sometimes it has to be about marketing, what sells, and what people like. You could have a great show, you could have a great setup and a great everything, but and a great character cast. But if they're not appealing to a mass of people, then it's just like, well, screw it. It's like woke. Let me name you an example. Woke characters. In hindsight, they may not be bad, but nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see wokeness. So, what are you better off without? Just don't write it in. Some things are not always about writing and getting good. Some things are just about what appeals to people. So, I hope that makes sense to a lot of people. Because, listen, I like to analyze writing and storylines, but a lot of it you can't always rely on that. That's why a lot of woke shows fail. And there's even some woke shows that actually have good writing. Believe it or not, it just turns out like you're pushing an agenda, and that's the thing that's going to push people away. There's people who like The Last of Us game in the storyline, but what pushed people away was the freaking agenda. So you can't rely on it. You can't rely on woke bullshit. That's the last thing you want. You can't rely on things that don't appeal. Even if you can make it good and make it actually something that is actually objectively great storytelling, that doesn't mean it's going to be appealing. You see what I'm saying? WWE is now competing against NBA in the ratings, which also had a major drop the last few years too. I'm not downing it. NBA is a freaking woke fucking bullshit and full of fucking pussies, so you can't blame that either. And that's kind of the thing. Woke, go broke. So don't like. It's not because of bad writing. So again, a lot of woke people can't write for shit. But I hope this makes sense because like good writing can only take you so far. Like you want something that appeals to people. You want something that makes people go ha ha ha, or something that goes, oh, I like this, or something that is dramatic. Like anything. The last thing you need, and I mean it, the last thing you need is something that doesn't appeal. It has to appeal to somebody. So I hope this makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense. I mean, the way I explained it too. I did go in depth into it as well, so a lot of the times, a lot of people might mistake this. No, I'm not saying people aren't talented. I'm just saying, like, there's just some things that are going to appeal to something else, even if it's less talented. It's more about what's marketable. That's all. The marketing machine matters more than the actual what you're trying to push. It's not really wokeness. They have a major illegal streaming problem, and they have too much three-pointers, aka super kicks in wrestling. Maybe that's the case. I'm not saying it's wokeness that's killing WWE. I'm making it's wokeness is just the example. I'm making wokeness is just the example. It's not appealing. That's the point. They could have a good like you're pointing out, like the super kicks too many. It's gonna be unappealing. They could have like good writing and a good storytelling, and this amount of super kicks. Maybe if he hits the fifth one, this will be it. Stuff like that. But it's whether it's appealing or not. That's the point. Writing, they could have a good show tomorrow, but it doesn't mean everybody's gonna watch. It doesn't mean the people are gonna. I like it. They're gonna look at some of the things like, I can't watch this. I can't believe this. Even if they try to do the best absolute hardest to make it make sense, to somebody it's not going to make sense, which is a lot of people. Oh, you're talking about NBA. Well, yeah. Yeah, okay, so it's not just wokeness, it's just streaming. It's just an illegal streaming problem. Okay. Fair point. But still, still, I hope everything I said still makes sense. It's fun to talk about, don't get me wrong. NBA, I mean, still kind of more fun to watch than pro wrestling, in my opinion. I've seen some of it, though it's kind of boring at times. Like, okay, boring. Bored, not really interested. I don't know. Wonder if illegal streaming affects all shows. All shows. I don't know. Maybe it actually does because, like, it's how they sell. Like, shit like that. Like, the last thing you want is people seeing your shit for free. So yeah, there is the legal streaming problems that happens to pro wrestling too. Actually, it's kind of been a problem in MMA. It's kind of the legal streaming problem is not just NBA. It's like football, MMA, or UFC. Right, and it's still the same thing. Boxing. It's all around the world. Shit. It's been a problem, and it's kind of been an occurring problem, and people were able to get away with it. Like that's another problem that I'm not too heavily keen on, but at the same time, it is a big problem, and a lot of people, and like there's even a pirating some shows or games and shit illegally. So I'm not sure about the pirating, but that's also part of the problem where games are pirated or TV shows are pirated. This shit happens. Like, just get rid of Watch Wrestling and WWE would actually get 100K. Yeah, you know, that might be good news. Good news. But that's the result of the internet. But you guys are also. But guess what, guys? Take this to account. Take advantage of the internet. Okay, because people have made lots of money just being on the internet. Trust me, stock markets, everything. Trust me. The internet is the best place to make money. Just learn to use it. AI, selling AI pictures. You can actually make money selling AI pictures. I'm not joking about that. Learn to use the internet. Use it. Use AI. There's lots of things. Take advantage of it. Yeah, but again, Michael Myers, you're not wrong. If they did do that, WWE might actually get 100K. You never know. More than 100K, rather. They would get 100K, but still. They would get more. I know what your point is. Then they would have to invest things like cable or USA Network to actually watch the shit. So you never, yeah. Pay for it, damn it. Work for it. I mean, I don't watch pro wrestling either way because even watching it for free isn't worth it. You may even have to pay me to watch it. Pretend to like it, but I wouldn't accept either way. Unless you paid me a gazillion dollars, I'd be like, okay, sure. Yeah, it was a great show. I liked the midgets fighting. And I liked where Johnny Gargano threw a kick and it didn't even land, and the guy was like, ow! Johnny Gargano got some sort of superpowers, you know? I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking dumb shit that happens in pro wrestling either way. I don't even know why you wouldn't want to pay for it to see it, but to each their own. I won't judge you. I mean, I won't judge you like the liberals judge you for voting for somebody they don't like. Man, shut up. Nobody cares about what you like, bruh. Ah, hour and 32 minutes. I actually had fun talking. So I hope somebody else has some law because I like talking about this stuff. It's like one of those things. Like this is the longest I ever gone. I already talking about the things I already wanted to talk about, right? Politics. I don't know if you guys caught it. Maybe you guys have, and maybe you guys caught the last streams. And I'm glad to be I'm glad the chat is engaging, because like one, I like having engaging chat. Like it makes it fun, right? Alex, do I know Alex Steen? No, I don't know Alex Steen. Who's Alex Steen? But either way, though, I do like interactive chat. I do like interacting, and it gives me more to talk about. You can give a brief description on Alex Steen if you want. I'm willing to talk about something I know you don't know about. I'm willing to learn. But either way, I talk about a lot of stuff. I didn't think it'd go this long. Well, awesome. I should actually put something together more often. If this meant this. That or people just like, okay, I got nothing better to do, so let's watch this boring ass piece of shit, Bullsy. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. He a prankster and the guy that pranks city councils. I can actually cover that. I could do some little research on that and cover that tomorrow. That sounds like something fun to do. Alex Steen. Gotta remember that. Yeah, I'll cover that. That seems like something city councils like. That seems like a productive member of society. Yay, somebody who pranks people. But I'll do some coverage. I don't know what kind of pranks does he do exactly though. Does he like put a whoopee cushion on the chair and they sit and there's a loud fart sound? Is that what happens, or like something more diabolical? Is it goofy or diabolical? He also has Candice Michelle on his show recently. Oh, had. I see what you're saying. Oh, so Alex Steen is a podcaster and a prankster. A prankster podcaster. Yeah, that's a guy I might cover. He sounds like a fun guy to talk about, too. Sounds like somebody I could get into. Like, in fact, I should really get into some of those people that you guys are going to bring up. Candice Michelle, uh, uh, Alex Steen. Yeah, I should probably get into those things because these things are going to come up. He goes to city councils and plays a liberal character. He pranked AOC. Well, then I got to really cover him because now I definitely like him. Hey, guys, you're going to love this. You're going to really love this. So, like, there are people that are pitching AOC to run in 2028. Like, they're already freaking about Kamala Harris, and even though some of them are like, she's my president, and it's like, no, she isn't. But you gotta love this. Like, people are pitching AOC to be president in 2028. Run for president, AOC, and people are saying she's smarter than Donald Trump. It's like, are we living in a freaking Matrix or some shit? We have to be. There's no way people are actually saying this. Like, AOC's smarter. That is like you. How do you associate smart with AOC? Like, yeah, that's a mystery to me. She's going to even lose New York and Vermont. Well, that's something I can believe already. She's a numbnuts. She's not. Yeah, like how do you? I need to understand. Like this is something I can't wrap my hand around. How do you associate smart with AOC? How does one do it? Like, what is the thought process? I need to understand this. This is something I want to understand. I know liberals aren't keen on common sense or sense at all or logic, but there has to be some sort of logical explanation outside of I hate Trump. Outside of that, there has to be some logical explanation for it. And if it's just I hate Trump, then this is like, okay, so you're so devoid of freaking reality and you hate Trump so much that you'll even say something that is incoherently untrue, not even remotely true, and not even remotely close to being true, that you'll say things like, well, AOC is smart. When has she ever did anything smart? When? Grown up in a rich household and young, that's the only way. You know what? Okay. Here's what I actually think. You know, okay, here's my thought. Some liberal men actually jerk off to her. I think that's really it. I think there are just liberal men that actually have fucking sexual fantasies about that woman. And she is a stunning looking woman, don't get me wrong. But liberal men jerk it to her to a point where they like still say things like she's smart, she's this, but it's not because it's not the upper head talking, it's the head into the pads talking. If they haven't cut it off already. It's there. It's that. It has to be that. They don't actually think she's smart. It's just the head talking, and they just fantasize about her. That's Boogie definitely does. Okay, that I need to understand that one too. Okay, I gotta fucking do fucking streams about people fucking jerking it to fucking AOC because there's no way you could logically even explain AOC being smart. The only way somebody could even tell me why they say she's smart is because they jerk it to her. They just like her look, she's attractive, and that's it. Hey, she is attractive. She is attractive. But just say that. You just like her because she's attractive. I'd much rather that. than to say she's smart. She's not smart. She's somebody you bang and then you leave on a have a one night stand and hope she forgets about you. That's the whole thing you do. Okay? She's a former bartender and that's it. For bartender and apparently a young grew up in a rich household who doesn't understand economy or legal policy. She doesn't understand any of it. She doesn't understand executive, legislative, and stuff like that. She doesn't know her three. She didn't even know her three branches of governments when she went in it. Yeah, there's a Supreme Court, executive, legislative, and judicial. She didn't even understand that. Boogie definitely did. Good night, Mr. Michael Myers. Thanks for stopping by. Was fun. I gotta freaking do. Yeah, these are streams that I gotta talk about. Woo! 1 hour and 40 minutes. This was a fun stream, guys. I could still go more, though. It's not like I have anything better to do. I don't got work tomorrow. Yeah. This was awesome. This was a good stream. Fun stream. Fun talking. There's some things I'm thinking. I gotta do fucking Boogie research and see what the fuck he does with fucking Ocasio-Cortez posters. You know they do some weird shit. They always, it's the left. What do you expect? Anyway, I have a song for you guys for an outro. So, any other things you guys want to tell me? Because I'm willing to talk more. Good night. Good night. Okay. Good night. That's actually what you said. But anyway. Good night. Thank you, Mr. Michael Myers. Thank you, Ricky Stanky. Thank you, Christopher. What was it again? Christopher Dominguez. That was awesome of you to come in. Thank you, Minnesota Vikings fan. It was a fun stream, guys. It was a fun stream. I might do this tomorrow. I should do this tomorrow. I still should work on the premiere, too. Here's an outro for you guys. Enjoy. I mean, I'm not going to put up a thumbnail either. I'm just kind of talking. What should I put on? Slaves, YR, Scared of Dave Rose shit thing. Music, that's a Blurb Roll crying song. Hold on, let me look for something. Let me actually show you guys one more thing. If I have it. I'm sure I have it somewhere. To get screaming. I think this is it. Hold on. I think this is it. Because it's just the fucking guy going, he just screams, dude. He just fucking screams on the top of his lungs. For like, it was just after election, okay? So like, you guys already know, right? So I'm gonna put this on, like, and I hope this is the right one. I'm gonna really look at it again and try to find it. Who knows? But okay, if it looks similar, then yeah. Hopefully it looks similar. Then I know it is. Okay, what is this again? Oh, never mind. That was a meme I tried to make fun of YR with. Never mind. Wrong one. Let me go find it again. Come on. Help me out, frickin' StreamYards. Come on. Alright, so let's relook. We'll relook. Look for the video. I didn't record it. Did I record it? I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't record, but there's a Triple H one. I thought I had it. Whatever. I'll get it tomorrow. That's fine. Didn't expect not to have it. Anyway, thanks guys. I'm gonna put up a song for you. Why is this highlighted? But either way, I'm gonna put up a song for you either way. So, what should I play? Trap out, dubstep. Oh, good choices. Hold on. I'm gonna look for another song because I already played some of it. Some of it's really good. I'm gonna look for one. Don't worry, guys. It's gonna be good. Dreambears kicked me out of my own fucking shit. Don't do that ever again. Okay. I'm gonna look for it one more time. I don't know why I did that, but don't worry. Won't happen again. We'll look for delusional reds. Doing this thing where Dreambears kicks me out of my own stream. But again, we'll try again because it's gotta work this time. It's gotta work this time, okay? Lost in ideologies. That's what it is. Lost in ideologies. That's what I'm looking for. About it. So I'm just gonna click this one. That's right, Biddle.
Walking around like a herd, all of us cattle on the earth, getting fed lies, truth is blurred. Here's the truth about these dictators, fan skeletons in their bunkers, they hide so much dirt, but the media diverse to things about Trump, or the people wearing skirts. For all these politicians, vultured Amber Alerts, going off, killing babies before their birth, it's all absurd. I wonder why locals let themselves be misled by lies. These same people celebrate war while some people die. For example, Palestine versus Israel. Just to drop this example by teaching people to watch or subscribe to. People blindly follow all the way through. Doesn't matter what's right or wrong, dude. It's about control of the people, including the youth. They will lie to you until their face turns blue. Just keeping it real. How you feel, you suffer but they steal your dreams and your hope, it's surreal. Chasing shadows, trying to heal, living under a system designed to conceal. Voices whispering truths that conceal, but the fire inside us beginning to peel. Break down the walls, let the vision reveal. Together we rise and together we'll heal. Let's be honest, we are trapped in the cycles of tyranny. They got us distracted, while killing kids viciously. I mean indirectly with their gangs coming in illegally. Killing children, eating pets, taking over buildings, and politicians laugh cheerfully. Fuck you, Kamala, you evil bitch, you're a witch, you're full of shit. Shove your ass down in a pit and let you die like you did with all them kids. I wonder why locals let themselves be misled by lies. These same people celebrate war while some people die. For example, Palestine versus Israel. Just to drop this example by teaching people to what to subscribe to. People blindly follow all the way through. Doesn't matter what's right or wrong, dude. It's about control of the people, including the youth. They will lie to you until their face turns blue. Just keeping it real. Don't care how you feel. it's surreal. Chasing shadows, trying to heal. Living under a system designed to conceal. Voices whispering truth that they seal. But the fire inside us beginning to peel. Break down the walls of division reveal. Together we rise and together we'll heal. Let's be honest, we are trapped in the cycles of tyranny. They got us distracted while killing kids viciously. I mean indirectly with the gangs coming in illegally. Killing children, eating pets, taking over buildings, and politicians laugh cheerfully. Fuck you Kamala, you evil bitch, you're a witch. You're full of shit, shove your ass down in a pit and let you die like you did with all them kids. I wonder why locals let themselves be misled by a lie. They got us distracted while killing kids viciously. I mean indirectly with the gangs coming in illegally. Killing children, eating pets, taking over buildings, and politicians laugh cheerfully. Fuck you Kamala, you evil bitch, you're a witch. You're full of shit, shove your ass down in a pit and let you die like you did with all them kids. I wonder why locals let themselves be misled by lies. These same people celebrate while innocent people die. For example, Palestine versus Israel, just to drop this example by TV getting people to watch and subscribe to. People blindly follow all the way through. Doesn't matter what's right or wrong, dude, it's about control of the people, including you. They will lie to you until their face turns blue. Just keeping it real. Don't care how you feel. Yourself up, but they steal your dreams and your hope, it's surreal. Chasing shadows, trying to heal. Living under a system designed to conceal. Voices whispering truths that conceal. But the fire inside us beginning to peel. Break down the walls of division reveal. Together we rise and together we'll heal.